Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Lion's Den. Oh shit. Was I supposed to say that?
Again, I can't complain, homie. It could be a different day, but it's the same, homie. How you look me in my eyes didn't change on me. They done me dirty and I think they left a stain on me. They put the blame on me. So for your time up, go get it now. And ain't no telling where you wind up. From the bottom, I went through hell just to climb up. When they get gangster, you do not gotta remind us or come and find. Say we don't need a.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Lion's Den. Oh shit. Was I supposed to say that?
Yeah, that's our new name, by the way, guys. The Lion's Den. Tell them why we changed it.
So, we've been running with the name Mastermind Podcast for quite some time. First and foremost, remove the word podcast from our name because we don't just want to be affiliated with a typical podcast page, podcast channel. We want to be a type of page that not only provides value, not only provides, significant amount of entertainment, some good filming and things of that nature. But we do have plans down the line, which I won't necessarily speak on right now. But we have some really big plans down the line where we feel as though that name would just kind of hinder us. Aside from that, we want to associate ourselves with the Lion's Den as opposed to the Mastermind, mostly on account of the fact that we are going to hold Mastermind events. But we feel as though the content that we push out not only is tailored for any and everybody that seeks growth, but it's specifically tailored to the very few percent of people that are actually prepared to make that change, that are actually prepared to utilize all of the information that they learn, absorb it all like a sponge, and apply it to their day-to-day lives. Not many people are going to do that. Not many people are going to be willing to take that information and make those necessary adjustments.
My dad always told me 80% of the people that you tell things to just don't give a shit. 20% are going to listen and maybe not act, and 1 or 2% are actually going to get it done.
That's right.
So what we are trying to build here is to provide value and information to those people that are willing to put their next step forward. I feel like a lot of people get stuck in this analyzation, paralysis and never really get started, right?
Right.
So our goal is to make sure that we give you that information that you're looking for in order to get started, in order to build your business, hire your first employee, get your first business line of credit, get all that stuff going, because at the end of the day, we want to make sure that you guys are growing. Because if we're not growing you guys, we're not growing ourselves.
That's right.
All right.
I 100% agree with that. And I mean, that's kind of the simplest and best way to put it. We started this up a while back. It started off as a conversation. It turned into this. What this tells you is we are basically subjects of implementation. You can only do as much as you allow yourself to do. You can only accomplish up to the level that you will allow yourself to accomplish. And the reason I'm saying that is this. Had Daniel, Darren, and I had a conversation and said, hey, listen, we should do a podcast. And we're like, oh, shit, that sounds like a good idea. Let's call it the Mastermind Podcast. And then a month passes and we're like, yo, we should do a podcast. And what are we typically accomplishing? Nothing. What most people do is they come up with an idea, they share their idea with a group of friends, but they fail to execute it because they get that quick dopamine release where they feel good about making a good idea. They feel good about creating an idea that everybody was on board with, that everybody agreed with and liked. But that one moment of, satisfaction, that one moment of happiness where they're like, yes, I had a good idea, was all it took for them to stop doing exactly what they were doing or not to continue moving forward because of the fact that they praised themselves too much for it, that they didn't actually execute. They didn't actually move forward what they wanted to do. And a lot of people get stuck in that pattern where you're basically, you will have businesses that have been in business for 10 years, right? Making the same income that they've always made. Truth is, they haven't really been in business for 10 years. They've been in business 1 year 10 times because they refuse to make any changes or any adjustments because they see a little bit of success and they try and run with it.
100%. No, and you see everyone run into this problem. It's so funny because they get this grand idea. They want to get this big business get moving, right? And they start telling all their friends and buddies about it. And it's crazy how fast, it gets started and how fast it finishes.
Yeah.
And a lot of reasons behind that is just like, for example, if I put YouTube perspective, right? Everyone's trying to get the best camera, get the gimbal, get the tripod, the lighting. How did we start? When we first had this conversation, hey, we want to do a podcast, we didn't have this equipment to do all this stuff with. What did we do?
If you guys see our very first video on YouTube, I highly recommend you look at it. I did a good job at hiding
Hey, it
this,
wasn't
by the
bad.
way.
It wasn't bad.
There was a tripod maybe off in a corner. My phone was being used as a camera, and I had bought this mic. It's like a clip-on mic. What's it called? Like a lavalier or something.
Yeah, like
so
t-shirt mics.
I bought it because it was 10 feet long. I plugged it into my phone, and I dragged it all the way out to the table where we were speaking at. And if you watch this video, you'll see I put a bowl of candy right there. We never touched the candy. We never ate it. I don't know whose candy it was. I just found it there. I put that bowl right there in order to hide the camera that was actually right in front of it the microphone that was in front of it the whole time. And now, fast forward to where we currently stand as of this moment. We have our own microphone kit set, whatever the case may be. We are using a professional camera now as well, because we don't do this to pat ourselves on the back and say, hey, listen, we have some high quality stuff. But at the end of the day, if you're going to come up with high quality content, you have to have high quality equipment or high quality personnel with you. But I feel as though when you combine all three of those together, what you get is limitless. What you get is basically a destination with no boundaries. You can literally accomplish what you would love to accomplish, because when you push yourself to get nothing but the best, guess what you're doing to yourself subconsciously? You're literally telling yourself, okay, I accept nothing less than the best for myself. I was just watching a video the other day, now that we're talking about that, about a gentleman who was homeless. He was a homeless drug addict, right? And he did every single drug that you could think of. He had open sores on his face and everything like that. Then, out of nowhere, this once homeless man that nobody had hope for becomes a multi-millionaire entrepreneur. And the reason being is this. At first, what he tried to do was create an organization that would help addicts get through their addiction, basically rehabilitation. Okay. But he said it was just so stressful for him. And he knew deep down inside that that's not really what he was passionate about. Funny thing is, he was actually more passionate about providing for others. He was more passionate about actually providing a healthier lifestyle and healthier alternative for others. He ended up creating it's like a smoothie bar or like a smoothie pop-up shop, basically. And this guy literally accepts nothing less but the best. He will literally import all of his ingredients that he puts in these smoothies, even cacao and whatnot. When he could literally buy it in bulk and save some money and just have a truck drop them off, he imports them from different countries depending on where the highest quality is at. And what he said he was told was, when he was on his way up, when he was being mentored, getting out of the situation he was in, one thing he was told was, when you go out for that coffee, when you go out and let's say you go out for that, to buy coffee or whatever the case may be, don't just buy the cheapest coffee. Reward yourself with the best coffee. Get the best of everything. When you go and buy cookies, don't just get those tiny little crappy cookies. Get the high quality, freshly baked cookies. Why did he tell him this? He wanted to basically instill in this gentleman, from the time he was still basically on the verge of coming out of homelessness, that he needs to accept nothing less but the best for himself. And because of that, this guy's business is generating over $15 million a year.
Yeah. No, and that differentiates so many people in the game too. The guys that are focused on margins, cost, and all that stuff, and trying to buy all this bulk just because they can save money, but forget the value of quality and value over profit. We speak about this all the time. When you put your best foot forward and you want to put your customer's experience at the highest as soon as they walk into the store and leave, don't just sell them on the idea, oh, this is the best smoothie. When they come in, deliver that.
Show it.
Yeah, make sure that you're not only surprising them with, this new store, you're surprising them with a new flavor and taste as well. You differentiate yourself from the game. Your income differentiates yourself from the competitors as well.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. And it's just people can detect when value is actually being delivered to them versus when they're just being sold something. People don't like to be sold. And I've told you this before. Nothing is ever worth paying for or paying more for if you don't see the value in it. Mm-hmm. So if you're currently in business and you're so focused on profit that you can't tell me I'll give you a minute. If you can't say in a minute how your business, how your product, how your service actually provides value to me and benefits my life and benefits my future or whatever I'm trying to accomplish with your product, chances are you're in it for the wrong reason. And yes, there are going to be some businesses that are for profit that are just primarily focused on profit over value that are going to make some money, but it's always going to be short-lived.
No, 100%. I agree with that. And one of the topics I want to talk about now that we're in business, what are your thoughts on beliefs? I feel like a lot of people hinder themselves on what they're capable of doing or, their business partners as well. And I feel like they set these limitations in their head that, hey, this person, knew way more than me and he got to this level and I just want to achieve his level. You don't want to become great, or better than him. And I feel like that's a huge problem in today's society. What do you think about that?
Well, beliefs are going to be narrowed down to a lot of things. Your beliefs at the end of the day make up the foundation of everything you do. Because what you believe or what your beliefs are set to is what you primarily focus on, and what you focus on, you expand and feel more of, right? So, for example, if I was sitting across from you and my belief was, oh, man, I think I'm better than this guy. Oh, you got more views than I did on this video. You know what? I'm going to stop posting you now so you can stop getting views and I get views. Mm-hmm. A lot of people are like that. Yeah. So there's certain beliefs that are actually going to hinder you. My favorite term is called limiting beliefs, where they, every single personal development, self-help book, any single entrepreneur you come across will talk about limiting beliefs, because they're literally the beliefs that limit you. They're what you perceive mentally, subconsciously, that prevents you from actually going all in on what you need to do. And what I mean by that is this. So a limiting belief could be something like, oh, I want to accomplish big things. But as soon as you say but after that, you're already limiting yourself. But exactly. You'd be like, listen, I want to accomplish big things, but man, it's just going to take so much time. Be like, oh, I want to go to the gym, but if I go to the gym, that means I got to go home. I got to put my clothes in the laundry. I got to do my laundry. And then I got to get ready for the gym, put my clothes on, drink my pre-workout, drink whatever I take to the gym. And then I got to get in my car, get into the gym. And oh my God, what if the gym is packed? You're already giving yourself so many different reasons why you shouldn't go to the gym versus just being like, listen, I'm going to do this for my own health. I'm going to do this because I know it's going to benefit me in the long run. So by chunking things down and making it an overall large process, what you end up doing is limiting yourself completely. Mm-hmm. Another way to limit yourself is, another belief that can limit you is when you believe that, you're in a competition with somebody else. Why don't you compete with your previous self?
Yep, 100%. I feel like a lot of people, try to compare themselves, to other people. And I feel like you really need to compare yourself to who you were the day before or the month before. If you use the example as business, your growth, right? What did you do in sales last month that you feel like you can better this month? What do you feel? Everything is growth at the end of the day. For me, like this YouTube channel, if we're growing steadily every single month at 1%, I'm okay with that. As long as I'm not at zero. Because for me, growth is the biggest thing. I'm moving forward. I'm trying to better my content. I'm trying to better myself. I'm trying to better every angle, that we can possibly do to make that little percent just go up from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 and exponentially grow every single month after that. And it goes all the way back to, I feel a lot of people aren't, I get angry. When I see someone driving a Ferrari, I get pissed off. I use that as my motivation, my fuel. It's not like some sort of jealousy. It's more like, that guy did it. What's different between him and me?
Right.
you know, and I get so angry. I feel like these kids aren't getting mad about that stuff anymore. When I see a really good video posted, I mean, I congratulate the guy, don't get me wrong, but I'm like, how the hell can someone with the same amount of time as me, same knowledge, same brain power, whatever it may be, was able to do something better? That just means I got to work on myself, work on my flaws, work on my weaknesses, and make something, you know, big, creative.
And that's a perfect point you bring up, because a lot of people are going to take my previous statement with a grain of salt. And it's this. What I just said, compete with your previous self. So you're utilizing, from, you know, the example you just brought up, you're utilizing the growth and success of other people to drive you. And what you're doing, and what you just stated at the end, is you're competing with your previous self by saying this. Okay, this person just did this and accomplished this, when I know that I'm capable of this, this, and this. What am I not doing?
Exactly.
What have I been missing up until this very point that could have catapulted me? So you start doing a self-analysis where you start to learn more about yourself. You start to learn more about your flaws. And you know, my favorite belief is my favorite limiting belief is this, and I'm sure you've heard it before. Oh, that person is just successful because they got lucky. Oh, all these successful people, they were either born with money or they just got lucky. Mm-hmm. I mean, from both of our stories and scenarios, I'm pretty certain that that's not the case for either of us. So
you work hard enough, you get lucky.
Yeah, exactly.
You make your own luck. And that's how this game rolls. I mean, a lot of people, when you're at the top, you know, they love to say, oh, this guy blew up overnight. This guy did this. I mean, there's 5, 6, 7 years of work before you even get shown in the spotlight. Mm-hmm. You look at, for example, I like to touch on a lot of points and analogies, but Mr. Beast, he started off with Minecraft videos. No one watched his shit for a really long time.
Dude, I forgot.
Yeah, really long time. And I think he started in like 2013, 2014. And then around 2018, that's when he really started growing exponential. And it just goes to show, it's just, you know, you get better. You know, everyone sucks at the beginning. Even the best tennis player, his first day, he probably sucked. But it's the continuous, you know, consistency. Yeah, Serena Williams. Even the consistency, you know, the discipline and the belief in yourself and not limiting yourself and saying like, oh, this might not work out or I'm going to shit. You look at the best athletes, they believe in themselves. They think that no one can beat them. Mm-hmm. I was watching a video the other day. I think it's Patty the Batty was saying, oh, no one can knock me out. Put Francis Ngannou in the ring, I'll knock him out. And it takes that mindset. It takes you being a little bit crazy in a way, because, you know, if you don't believe in yourself, who will?
That's right. And I mean, yeah, that's actually a perfect point, because a big complaint a lot of people have is, oh, nobody believes in me. Oh, you know, the reason I'm not motivated is because every time I tell somebody something, they never believe in me. You know, you're lucky because people believed in you, but from my come up, nobody's ever believed in me. And my number one question to them is, let me ask you this. Yeah, let's say nobody believed in you. Up until this very moment where we're having this conversation, what have you done up until this point to get them to believe in you? Mm-hmm. What type of work have you put in to get people to believe in you? You can't just expect people to believe in you just by literally making a proclamation and, you know, affirming something and then never following through with it. People will believe in you when they start seeing results. And if at that point people still don't believe in you, keep making results. Keep creating results. Eventually, those people will believe in you whether they say it or they don't.
No, 100%. And like I said, I use a lot of analogies. It's like that fat kid that's like, oh, I'm going on a diet. You know, I'm cutting. 3 months go by, he still looks the same. I'm cutting. 3 months go by, still looks the same. And it goes to that analogy like, hey, dude, you know, you keep saying this every single month. I mean, I believed in you the first, second month, but the results aren't there. And it takes those results. It takes that kind of affirmative answer for society to see, hey, what this guy is saying, he's actually doing. Now I'm like, okay, the next thing he says, you know what? I kind of believe him, you know, 30, 40%, but now I have some sort of percentage where I actually believe what he's going to say. And it shows so much in work ethic, your passion, everything, because at the end of the day, belief comes with vision. If you're saying something, you're explaining your vision to someone and they don't believe it, it's just because they don't see your vision. Mm-hmm. You know, sometimes it takes that, you know, that passion, the look in your eyes, the intensity to really deliver that sensation where it's like, oh shoot, this guy, everything he's saying is like, I agree with him, it's right. I mean, I really think that if this guy wants to build a ship, landed on the moon, he's gonna do it from the way he's talking, you know. And I
Not a
feel
bad
like,
idea.
yeah, I mean, you see this all the time, and you know, businesses, especially like sales employees, always trying to be managers and do all this stuff. It's like, if you're gonna ask for positions, if you're gonna ask for something, you got to show the results.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's a great point. It's a beautiful point you bring up.
I appreciate it.
You know, people want the next level without working towards the next level, and I 100% agree with
Yeah, and they start asking like, oh, I want to do this. Oh, I want to do this. Don't ask. Pick it up and start doing it, and they're gonna see, hey, this guy did this without me asking him or me paying him extra. This guy's a leader. This guy takes initiative. This guy takes the next step forward. He's an action taker, and that's what businesses really love to see.
Right.
You know, it's not that guy that's always complaining for the raise or, you know, the next promotion or all this stuff. It's the guy that starts working on the promotion before he gets promotion. You know what I mean? It's like you ask, you know, to build a shed and I build you a house.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's that over delivery, doing what other people aren't doing in order to get looked at.
Right. Just like, you know, rather than sowing thoughts to become action, sow the character you want to become. Mm-hmm. Focus on who you want to be in life, and focus on that, and truly believe and instill in your mind that you are in the process of becoming that person. Guys, it's simple. Like it's I can't make this make more sense to you. And unfortunately, this is going to make such ridiculous amount of sense that it's going to be uncomfortable for a lot of you. A lot of you are not going to like what we're talking about here because it makes too much sense. Because mentally in your mind, you're like, oh, I already know this. These guys are not doing anything but preaching what we already know. But like I said last time, common sense is not common practice. A lot of you will listen to something and in a moment be like, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, obviously, that's a no-brainer. But actually look yourself in the mirror. You can lie to us. That doesn't matter. But you will never lie to the person looking back at you in the mirror. And ask yourself, have I really been doing everything that I told myself I could do? Have I really been fulfilling everything that I've put out for myself up until this moment? Truly ask yourself that.